So we've been talking about the fruit of the Spirit listed in Galatians 5, and we've talked about love, we've talked about joy. This next Sunday we're going to be talking about peace. So today I have my good friend Joshua here.
Yeah. So like a lot of times people think that peace is like a place that you go, right? It's like I'll go to the country cause there's like a lack of noise and it's quiet, so on and so forth. So initially when you think of peace, you think of like a place, right? However, when I think of peace, I really think of a place, but not like a geographical location. I think of like a position in my heart and my spirit, right? And so, yes, like peace is a place that you go to that has a lack of noise, but it's a position in my heart because I know like who I belong to.
Wow!
You know?
Wow! I like
And
that. So
yeah.
it's still a location,
Right.
but it's like a spiritual location.
Exactly.
I like that.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
position. That's good.
Uh-huh.
Do you have any testimonies, any experiences where you said, "Wow, that was the peace of God coming
Sure.
over me"? Kind of.
Yeah, absolutely. So, like, the first thing that popped in my head was, of course, like, our financial situation was, like, chaos and it was crisis and so on and so forth. So, years ago, I was needing a vehicle. The car I had was, like, not working. Well, like, it would turn on, but it would, like, overheat and, like, die, like, halfway before I got to work, right? So, I needed a new vehicle. Yeah, don't you love those, right? And so, my dad was letting me borrow his car, but I was getting purchased for him because he needed like his second vehicle for work, right? And so in my head, I had this plan of action. You know, I'll drive Dad's car for this long, and I'll save X amount of money and go to this dealership and buy the car at this price, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
And so like all that like fell apart horribly. And so yeah. So again, like if anyone knows me, like they know I'm like a significant control freak, and so I'm sitting on the deck on the patio, right? And I'm like, the sun is shining, the birds are singing, it's a beautiful day, I'm off of work, but I'm literally sitting on the deck crying because I'm at the end of myself. And so it came to the place where I was just like, you know what, like we shouldn't get to that place where we're like, okay, God, like I give it up to you, right? I'm trusting in you to fix this because I can't fix it myself.
Yeah.
And so, like, when I, again, like, got to that place, got to that position of trust, you know, like, convicted that I wasn't walking in faith, and then I said, you know what, God, like, I believe you're a good father, and I'll take my hands off of it and let you do what you want to with it. So, being in that place, that's when all the stress, all the fear, all the frustration, all the resentment just like washed away. And then like being in the spirit, hearing his voice, made a phone call to a family friend, said, "I want you to go over here and do this." And so like after that, it all worked out.
Wow.
But again, like, it literally went from a place of like I'm in almost not the darkest emotional position of my life, right? You know, my life is imploding, right? I'm literally going from there to the place of, you know what, God, like, I trust you, and I give it up to you. And it was absolutely amazing, like, how the shift came, where I was, like, it's almost like I was in black and white, and then I started looking at color, you know, and...
So it was
like,
a tangible shift.
Yes, absolutely. And
it wasn't like a slow escalation, tucking yourself into believing, okay, I'm peaceful.
No. And again, it was interesting, like, having those friends and the family that you can talk to, because I really hadn't talked to anyone about it until that moment. You know, where again I had to let go of it, you know, and allow someone else to speak into my life in that place. And so it was literally, again, a family friend who gave me some, like, financial advice. And, yeah, I walked out I walked out in faith, believing that God's going to open a door, even though in my rational, logical mind, there's no way this could happen.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, so I went out, I talked to the guys, it worked out, and I had, like, a car that I loved, that was dependable.
The main things that I'm hearing, which is really good. I mean, I wrote the children's lesson for Sunday yesterday, and when I wrote the children's lesson, I always write a big question and a big answer. And really the big question is, what is peace? And the big answer for the children on Sunday is really trusting God, believing that He is in control, and trusting Him.
Right.
And that's really what you're saying it came down to.
Yeah.
Finally coming to the point, okay, I cannot manage this, I can't control this, and I think probably a lot of us can relate to that, trying to make some kind of plan, trying to put things in place, and this is our understanding of the spiritual reality going on around us. This is always bigger than us.
Right.
We are not the center of the universe. God is the great strategist, and He has a picture and a plan that's far beyond our ability to even comprehend it.
I know, right? Yeah. And even to the sense of, like, it's bigger than we can comprehend, but it's better, like, the place that God puts us is better than we can build for ourselves.
Yeah.
Like, even just taking part in the story, you know?
Yeah.
It's like, even if we were to, at, say, like, 16, say we're going to make X amount of money, right? And being, like, this position of power, like, in the world. Like, even that is, like, it's so small and so minute compared to what God has for us.
That's right.
If we're willing to submit, like, ourselves and our wills to what He has for us, you know.
That's good.
And again, like, this being a part of the conversation, is being in the car with God, you know, like, if like, we're in the passenger side and He's driving, you know, and it's like there's peace there. That's what trust Him.
That's good.
It's beautiful.
That's good. Yeah. And I think we often we get this idea that peace is a complete absence of conflict.
Right. Come on now. That'll preach right there. Yeah. So true. Right. Again, like, we believe that peace is like the city, right? It's like, it's chaos. And then peace is the country. It's like there's no traffic in the country. There's no angry drivers in the country.
How many times have you thought, I just got to get out of here?
Exactly. Let me get away.
I was thinking that this morning.
No, but again, it's that, like, there's no hostility. There's none of that. You know, when we get away from the city, right? And so, like you said, peace it's a position of no conflict. Yet again, like, if we're falling back into trusting God and letting Him handle it, it's like, even when there is conflict or chaos or, like, mayhem or whatever it is, right? Yeah. Even when it seems like my world is falling apart outwardly, on the inside, like, I know who I put my faith in. I know who I have my trust in. I know that eventually, wherever it is that God has me, in His will and His destiny for my life, I will get there.
Good.
Regardless of what it looks like on the outside. And so, yeah, I mean, that, preach on that. Because I need to hear it.
But of course, there must be divisions among you, so that you who have God's approval will be recognized. So, in the church, we hear over and over again, unity, 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 unity. And that is the target. That is the heart of God. That is the light. But in the natural, in this fallen world, there is darkness. And so, with darkness and light, there is contrast. And there will be contrast until Jesus comes back and sorts everything out, right?
Yeah.
Then there will be no more contrast.
Hallelujah.
There will be no more light and darkness. It will only be light.
That's good.
You know? And so, yes, our goal is peace. In this case, it was, yes, our goal is unity, but there will be division. And in the division, the ones who have God's approval will be recognized. Right?
Yeah.
And it's the same thing in our lives with peace. Yes, the goal is peace. The heart of God is peace. And that comes from this trust in God that even though we are in this time of contrast, He is still the one that's in control. And through this, our light is becoming brighter. Right?
Yeah, sure.
That contrast is being turned up as we walk in faith and walk in peace.
That's good. To trust in the Lord with all your heart, and lean not on your own understandings. In all your ways, acknowledge Him, and He will direct your path. So it's this, again, like, there's trust. There's acknowledge. There's do not lean. You know, there's allowing yourself to give something away, but you're getting so much more, and that's the whole idea of, you know, when I allow myself to be vulnerable, right, and trusting, God will direct my path.
Yeah.
When we understand there's division, we understand there's differences.
Yeah.
But through it all, when we trust that God has control of the bigger picture, He'll direct our paths.
Going way back to when we started this,
Yeah.
and you're talking about that testimony, one of the key parts of your testimony was about going to other people, getting other people involved in your life, submitting.
Sure.
That's a big idea.
Oh yeah.
Because when you realize, oh, wait a second, I can't do all this by myself.
Yeah.
I can't control everything and manage everything into the perfect vision for my life.
Yeah.
I can't do that.
Yeah.
When you realize that, and then you realize God is the omniscient, omnipotent, all-powerful one who does love you and has a plan for you.
Yeah.
And then you realize, oh wait, He's put me in a community. Then there's a submission to God, which is the trust, the idea, the source of the peace. But that's also just as much the submission to one another. Right?
Exactly. Yeah. And I think it's interesting. Again, I keep going back to Genesis because just in those first 3 chapters, like you could linger there and like change their whole perspective and like literally change the world just on those 3 verses, on 3 chapters. Nonetheless, like God creates Adam, you know, He creates like the world, He creates the animals, and He brings them to Him to give them names and stuff. You know, it's not good for man to be alone.
Right.
Okay, like every single thing that is like He's created is good.
Everything's good.
Everything's good.
That's the first not good.
It's the first not good. It's for man to be alone.
Right.
It's like, but why? I would dare say because there's power in the assembly. There's power in, like you said, like, why should I want to do everything by myself?
That's right. Good.
Like,
that's good.
Like, why not like reach out to let someone not help, but work alongside us in accomplishing what God has for our lives, you know? Yeah. And so it takes off so much pressure when we like lock arms with people who are around us and, you know, work it out as a team.
That's good.
You know? And so we have community in every single aspect of our lives, every single aspect of our lives, from church to work to family. You know, it doesn't really matter what it is. Yeah. There's a community aspect to it, and that's the way that God created us.
Wow.
You know, to work together, to work as a team. And so again, like,
that's good.
I wouldn't want to do it by myself.
No, I think if you ask just nearly anybody who calls himself a Christian, what is the secret to peace, they would say, trusting in Jesus. Right. But, you know, just talking to you, I want to add another level to that challenge. Okay. Because, yes, check, well done, you got the answer right. Yeah. But Jesus was all about love God, love people. Okay. Paul in his letters were also just as much about submit to God as he is to submit to one another. We were made for intimacy with God. We were made for intimacy in a community. So I really think that the source of peace is not just trust God. Okay. But trust the body that He's put you into.
Ooh, that's good.
Because the seed of the Holy Spirit, and which we're talking about the fruit of the Spirit. That's one seed. It's the Holy Spirit. Yeah. These are all aspects. That seed is in the heart of the body. And we always separate that out and think it's just individual, especially in American culture. We just think it's all about me, it's all about me, it's all about me. The answer is not in me. Yeah. Like you said, the answer is in us.
That's good.
So we could talk all day long. We've proven that before. Usually when we get together for breakfast, it has to be on a day off because we're going to talk for at least 3 hours. Yeah. I love Joshua. Indeed. We have good conversations.
Great conversation.
We could actually probably record next 6 months in one sitting, right? All right, what's next? But I just want to wrap things up with some key ideas. And so, would you give us what are some key ideas that everybody that watches this can walk away with?
Absolutely. So, I think it's one key idea, and something I've been like preaching on. Not necessarily preaching on. But I'm like kind of harping on when talking to people, about the series that run. It's literally about trust. And I have been convicted strongly about my lack of faith because I'm attempting to do everything myself. And because I'm doing things myself in my flesh, like there's no room for the Spirit to work there.
Yeah,
and if there's
yeah.
no room for the Spirit to work,
Wow.
then there's no fruit of the Spirit, right?
No,
So,
no, that's
and so for me, it's falling back on where my identity lies, who I belong to, and again, God is a good Father. Therefore,
Yes,
He will take care of, handle every single thing that I need, be it financially, mentally, spiritually, like so on and so forth. And so it's just trust. Allow your faith to grow by taking your hands or allowing us to take our hands off of what it is that we think we can control, and let God take care of it.
That's good. That's
And
good.
peace comes out of that.
Peace.
Yeah.
All right, well, join us Sunday, and we meet at 10:30, and we are definitely going to spend some more time talking about this together.
Definitely.
So God bless you. Have a great week.